listening to me on the radio lines. Good morning to those watching me on Facebook. Good morning, Instagram. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Having a couple of technical difficulties here this morning. Good morning to those now joining me on Periscope. I am multitasking today just simply because I want to, excuse me, get the rest of this message out about the 8 areas where we lose ourselves. But before I do that, for those who may be joining me for the first time, my name is Tammy Pope. I am your virtuous businesswoman, motivational makeover mentor. Yes, I know that that is a mouthful, but my goal and my joy through this broadcast and through everything that I do is to help you to eliminate excuses and excel. And over this month, we have been talking about the 8 areas where we lose ourselves. And I'm going to give a really quick recap for those that are listening for the first time. We have talked about having wavering faith, losing faith in ourselves, losing faith in others, and losing faith in God ultimately. We have talked about losing ourselves within our families because of decisions that we may make. And we talked about losing our individuality, becoming a chameleon, just adapting to our surroundings. We also talked about not serving who we are meant to serve and not doing what we are meant to do. And I know that I moved through those kind of fast, but if you are interested in hearing those first 5 areas, I would invite you to go to facebook.com/TBBW radio, TBBW radio, because I usually go live while I am on the phone as well, and you can get caught up on that. I wanted to try to finish those in one show, but it just did not happen that way. So today we are going to be talking about the last of the 3 areas. And first, I want to talk about good, bad, and ugly relationships. I talked about a friendship that I was in, to where I was so into my friendship with this person that they felt like they could not trust me, because anything that they asked me to do, I did it. I did not, or would not say no to this person. She had done a lot for me. And I felt like if she asked me to do anything, it needed to be done because I was trying to pay her back for everything that she did for me. And no matter how much she told me I didn't have to be that way, that still stayed in me. So my question is this: are you in, or have you been in, a relationship like that? It doesn't have to be a friendship. It could be your marriage. It could be another family relationship, a work relationship, or even ministry relationship. And you may say, well, Tammy, how do I know if I've lost myself in that area? And I say this: if people start to ask you, when was the last time you've done something for yourself? When was the last time you've done something for your business, your life, your ministry, or when was the last time you did something that you enjoyed doing and you can't answer them, you have lost yourself. And you'll say, well, how, how so? Glad you asked. We lose ourselves in our relationships when we become intentionally voiceless unless there's a crowd. Everybody has assertiveness and disagreement, within their DNA. However, we use them very, very selectively. We are quiet on an issue unless there is a crowd. We can disagree with something, but we won't speak up until somebody else says something first. We have an issue with being respectfully outspoken. And this can damage relationships because we see how someone reacts to another person who has the same views that we do. And because of the way they reacted to that person, we will cower back or even change our viewpoint to stay in good standing with that person. And then when they call us out about it, we're upset. But we have to realize that we bring it on ourselves by not giving that opinion that they were looking for. I'm definitely guilty of that one. I am. That's one I get called out on often, believe it or not. But secondly, we also lose ourselves in our relationships by not using discernment and good judgment. Not everything that you hear or read needs to be brought to light unless it is life-threatening. Just because you know something doesn't mean that you should tell it. I cannot say how many times that I personally have gotten into trouble because as people say, I've spoken a word out of season. You may have heard something that you are dying to tell, but you don't think of the impact of you revealing that. And then once things start to spiral out of control, you realize that you should have kept it to yourself, but the damage has been done. So now you're doing damage control. Then on the other side of that spectrum, we lose ourselves in our relationships when we don't defend those that we love. And there was a meme on Facebook that says, I'm not concerned with what they say about me. I'm concerned with why they felt comfortable enough to say it to you. Loyalty is the one thing that people cling to in a relationship. And all of us can go back to a time where someone we knew and loved was being talked about, but we said nothing in their defense. We knew that what they were saying wasn't true, but we didn't say anything, and then we end up feeling guilty because we know that we should have spoken up. And when that person finds out that you were there and did not stand up for them, a bomb explodes because they want to know why you did not defend them. And I have been there as well. And I'm learning how important it is to speak up in defense of those that you know and say that you love, because you will leave doors open that are truly impossible to close. But even worse than that, we lose ourselves in our relationships when we feel like we have free reign in those relationships to do and say what we want. You have to watch how you treat people. You don't have the right to treat people any way you want to because you think that you're going to get away with it because they could be plotting revenge in some sort of way. They could become unavailable to you. They could be moving away or be near death. You could lose that job where you're giving that half-hearted effort. You know, your carefree spending with money, your money could be reaching its end. People that depend on you may start doing stuff out on their own, and they may not be there for you. So we stand to lose a lot simply because we think people, places, and things are always going to be there no matter how we treat them. But you have to be careful because the funny thing about life is that you may not get the chance to make that right. So you have to watch how you treat people. Then we lose ourselves in our relationships when we are physically and emotionally unavailable, and that causes people to close to us to seek love and acceptance that we should be giving them from someone else. When we don't take the time to nurture our relationships, they will crumble and die. Any relationship can be susceptible to the things that I said. It doesn't matter. So you have to ask yourself, what are you missing out on now? What have you already missed out on, and what is there a chance to save? The next thing I want to talk about, hopefully, I can get these two done. But next, I want to talk about trivial pursuits, running after foolishness. We lose ourselves when money is the only thing that we think about. I was listening to a radio broadcast recently where a counselor, asked a student why they wanted to be a doctor. Was it because they wanted to make money or because they wanted to truly help people? And the student's reply was, because I want to make money. And what we have to understand is the level of loss that we incur on the road to making money might seem unimportant, but we will lose so much. We also lose ourselves when we allow materialism and covetousness to overtake us. Everything is about what we have. Everything is about possessions and things. And even further than that, we lose ourselves when God's will is no longer the focus in our lives, because even good things can pull us away from what He would have for us to do. And then when we start getting put in check about that, we'll feel as though we can't because of everything that we're involved in. Then we'll also begin to lose ourselves when we stop listening to sound advice. Our itching ears wanting to hear something that makes us feel good, that is going to pacify us, if you will, and not prompt us to get back on the path. We pay attention to that so much that the things that we need to pay attention to, they become lacking, and people will start to pull away from us. And then here comes the I told you so's. And having to go back to people after you've had a bad or a nasty attitude with them can be one of the hardest things in the world to do, because when you're following after things that really don't matter, it only leads to one thing, and that's regret. We'll think about what we could have done, what we should have done, what we would have done, and what would have happened if we had turned things around sooner. So ask yourself, have you lost yourself in who you are meant to be because of what has unnecessarily become your focus? The last area number 8, yes, I still have time, is this: majoring in the minors. And that means that we spend a lot of time worrying about things that simply don't matter or that hold very little value. For instance, we're more worried about what's not being done than what really needs to be done. We're more worried about who is doing it rather than if it's being done, because we're more prone to look at what is going wrong than taking the measures to actually fix it. You're more worried about who will see you doing it instead of simply getting it done. You won't do anything without an audience, and you'll lose the understanding of what it means to truly serve. We further lose ourselves when we end up with a double standard. When we let things go with certain people and hound others simply because of the position that that person may have in our lives, this damages things, because trying to explain to somebody why it was okay for them won't make sense. You'll start stumbling and stammering over your words and hating the fact that you have to level the playing field. And you will cringe, because leveling that playing field means that you're hurting somebody's feelings. Double standards always hurt. And the real problem with double standards is that we want certain people to do certain things a certain way, yet we won't say that because we're too consumed with not offending somebody. Conflict resolution in the family is another way that we will lose ourselves, because we will throw money at a problem instead of dealing with it. So, for instance, if you see that you are losing ground with one of your kids, you'll spend money to try to get that ground back instead of sitting down and talking to that child and seeing what's going on. when our work ethic is to the point to where we will do enough just to get by and just to impress people, but we know that it's not our best work. We will just literally throw spaghetti against the wall and hope that it sticks, and buy us time to do better. Then when it comes to our personal development, um, we will lose ourselves when we try to find the easy way around that. I was at an event earlier this month where the guy challenged us to spend 20 minutes reading, and everybody was like, "Oh, okay, I can do that." And he said, "No, no, 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 no. Spend 20 minutes reading a physical, like this one right here, a physical book, a book you hold in your hand. Put your cell phone down." And I promise you, you could feel every bit of attitude in that room. But by the way, if you're watching me on Instagram, Periscope, or Facebook, the book that I just held up is the book that I'm talking from. Prayerfully pay attention. 8 areas where we lose ourselves. We have to focus on the things that matter, and that the things that are going to help us to do more, do better, and do greater, for ourselves, our families, our lives, our businesses, and our ministries. So those are the 8 areas where we lose ourselves. I'm going to close here quickly while our time is winding down. If you want to catch up on past episodes, again, you can find me on Facebook at the Virtuous Businesswoman Motivational Broadcast. Kayla, I am still praying for you. I love you. Thank you for everything that you do. You and Moving and Storage, thank you for your sponsorship and just continuing to make this network happen. To the woman who lovingly bullied me into having this radio show, Nicole Gates, thank you so much, my friend, for all of your inspiration. And until our first show in February, God bless, Godspeed in all that you do. Keep charging, and I will see you soon.